So I have some T's to cross and I's to dot on the show this morning before I let you go. I need to, in this specific case, mention that Wired Wednesday is a paid program here on KSUB, and that McKenna lines up all the events that happen here.
Yes.
We're supposed to actually make that disclaimer
Every week?
Yeah, we're supposed
Every
to.
week? Oh my.
But we've been chill.
Hey, that's okay. So what's happened is I'm McKenna Hansen, and I am the host of Wired Wednesday, and I started this radio show in 2019, and we moved to the weekly Friday or weekly Wednesday spot in
See, if we did
the
it Friday, it could have been
transition.
Freaky Friday.
Right,
which
it could
might
have been. We moved to the Wednesday show in the middle of COVID because I needed to shift the market, with my radio show, and then I created a schedule. And some of you that do listen frequently and whatnot, you kind of hear the same people every quarter, but the primary purpose of Wired Wednesday is to create synergy with other business owners and like-minded people in Iron County to bring awareness to what actually happens in Iron County. And so
you just made your own disclaimer.
Well,
as
yes.
to the goal of the radio
Right,
show.
and that's my goal because, yes, I do pay for the spots and other businesses sponsor the spots and things, but in some light, it's trying to create synergy
Right.
and awareness of what happens in Iron County, and that's the sole purpose. Yes, I am your local Farm Bureau financial agent. I do insurance, and that is my widget. My passion is creating synergy with other business owners and members of Iron County.
Right, and the only reason I mentioned it today is because we have people watching us like a hawk, and because of what today's content might be a part
Yes,
of. So.
yes. Well, and some of our content today is really just going back to the roots.
Right.
And what small businesses do to survive in Iron County, and how businesses have thrived over the years of dedicated service to this area in building businesses. So really, today I hope that we go through some inspirational things for existing businesses, startups, and maybe businesses that are in kind of a shift or in a transition of what's happening, because none of us can control the market. All of us are feeling the tension of the pull, the retraction, the different aspects of it. It's kind of like a knit sweater almost. Something's pulling over here and it's itching over there and it's pulling down there. So it just goes through, what we're trying to accomplish today. And so with that, I give no further introduction to my guest today is Paul Cozzens, and he ran Cousin Cabinets for 33 years. And it has survived in Iron County for 35 as the transition from succession planning went from Paul to his son Brad. And Brad's been running it the last 2 or 3 years. And so it goes to show that dedication to a community in a small business capacity has a lot of facets. Welcome, Paul. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good to be here. Do I wear these or do I?
It's
Not-
totally up to
That's
you.
optional.
Optional?
I don't like
Maybe I
hearing
won't.
myself.
If you want to look cool
speak.
like us, yes, you
Right,
do wear them.
right.
Well, I'll never be as cool as you, Tim.
No, exactly. So Paul, with your dedication to Iron County and running a small business here, kind of walk us through what Cousin Cabinets is and how it's come to fruition now.
I moved to Cedar City in 1980 to go to college, and I secured employment at a local mill, Glades Mill and Fixture Company. A wonderful company. They've been in business a long time, I think well over 50 years, and worked for them. I'd had some previous experience in the millwork industry, building cabinets, and secured employment there, and they were very gracious to work around a schedule with a starving college kid, and it was awesome, and I learned a lot from them. But I had a dream to start my own business, and so after so many years there, in 1987, my wife Mary and I decided to start our own business.
And that in and of itself, having the drive, having the entrepreneurial spirit in starting a company, not knowing what tomorrow would bring necessarily, but knowing you had a passion and a direction, right?
Right.
So in 87 to now, kind of walk us through the highlights of what Cousins Cabinets have done.
Well, in 1987 we started. We bought an existing building. It was an old Beacons warehouse. It was a 4,000 square foot building.
Beacons, really?
Beacons Storage and Warehouse down there on 609 North, 935 West, right behind Colligan, and we bought that building, and And it was a dirt parking lot, and it was a bare bones building, and we bought that, and we didn't have a lot of money to start. We didn't have a lot of operating capital. We received we had about $100,000 to start. We bought this building, and that $100,000 went quick. We bought 4 main machines and 3-phase power from Industrial Road to the shop, and that money was gone. And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, and so. Mary and I, we scraped by. I mean, we had our first child was born that year, and we actually ate dinner with her parents for a year because we couldn't afford. We had to use our dinner money for the business to survive. I built this barrel stove with 2 55-gallon drums, and I run wire across the ceiling, and we put plastic and we burned scraps from our cabinet business to heat the shop. I'd have to move the glue bottles into the office at night so they wouldn't freeze solid in the wintertime. And that's how we started out. We just made it do, and that's how we did it.
It's incredible, just in that short of time and whatnot, you made a lot of sacrifices because you had the dream or the vision to move things forward, right? You made the sacrifices up front, and sacrifices in all small businesses, right? You are constantly making a sacrifice here to better the direction here, and going back and forth, because had you not had that dream, can you imagine not having cousin cabinetry here in Iron County?
No, it's been a real blessing to us and others. And what's interesting is as we've started our own business, we're very good friends with our competition. We get along very well with our competitors in town. We help each other out. The firm I left, the Glades, we've always been good friends. Fine Line Cabinets Ron Riddle is a good friend of mine. He's on the city council, and we help each other out. When one's busy, we'll refer work to the other. If one's too busy, we'll cut parts for each other, and it's just a great synergy between us, and we find that with a lot of and that's really how y'all survive. Is you're not enemies as competitors, you're friends, and you help each other, and it's been a wonderful thing.
Well, and what's really, you bring synergy in creating, synergy with your competition, right? I'm an insurance agent. There's thousands of us out there.
Right.
Thousands,
Is
right?
it that few? I thought there were a million.
Well, I'm just talking about Iron County,
Oh,
right?
okay.
1,000 or so. No, but if I can't offer a product or they need some other specialty thing done, then I'm referring that business out because I know that my ultimate protection for my clients is what it's supposed to be, right? It's not about me. It's about the clients, and it's about people making sure that they're protected with insurance products. And just like you're stating, you're creating synergy with your competition, meaning you're okay because it's the law of abundance, right? It's versus scarcity, it's a law of abundance, and making sure people are taken care of. How many people do you employ, or have you employed up to with Cozzens Cabinets?
We averaged over the years about 10 employees. We got up as high as 15, and that was more than I wanted. 10 was about the right number for me. My son Brad has owned the shop for the last 3 years, and I think he's got about 8 or 10 right now. And like everybody, it's hard to find help. It's not like it used to be. You used to have a job opening and 15 people would show up, to interview, but that's changed. But he has a very good crew. They're hard workers, and they're very dedicated to quality and working hard.
Well, and you bring that up because what I'm hearing is that you've provided for 10 up to 15 families in Iron County as well. You've made sure that there was food on their tables. You've made sure that payroll was never late through the sacrifices.
Well, there's a welcome change.
Well, you know what I'm saying? You go through this, and being an employer is hard, right? You do have to make sacrifices.
I was going to quip, when Paul said he was a starving college student. I wondered, has he changed that to become a starving business owner? So,
right.
And it sounds like for a while that was the case.
It was. When I came to school, my parents, my father was paralyzed when I was 10. My mother took care of my sister who was from birth was born with cerebral palsy, and cared for her. And if anybody that could have qualified for government grants or loans, it was me. But my parents sat me down before I left home in Moab and said, "You will not accept government aid. You will work." And that was a blessing because I learned how to work, and my schooling meant more to me because I had to pay for it, and it was good. And it's been a blessing over the years in our company. I've hired a lot of kids that have gone to school, and I've worked around their schedules. And some of the best employees I've ever had have been part-time employees. I think of the Oldroyd boys, Houston and Jeff. Houston works for the Lever Group now, and he went through school. He's from Beaver. He learned how to work hard, and he came into the shop every morning at 5 o'clock, opened the shop, got it going. He worked 30 to 35 hours a week and put himself through school as a CPA. I think he even got his master's degree, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think so. And he's an amazing guy, and he was an amazing employee. But he put himself through school working for our company. It was a blessing for him and us.
Right, but again, going back to creating this synergy, you know,
Right.
and now, you know, it's been here since '87, and with, let's see, can I count?
It's 35.
35 years.
Is
Thank
that-
you. I'm like, can I do my math today?
Did we not have coffee this morning, McKenna?
No, I need, if I could just have.
I
Can
got
we
some-
make a coffee machine in here?
I got
actually?
some Baja Blast over here. It's got
No,
caffeine in
Mountain
it.
Dew. Ugh.
Oh, this is
The
Baja
only-
Blast. It's better.
Well, the only thing Mountain Dew's good mixed with is, you know, a drink that's sold
Never
down at a
mind.
glass
Yeah,
house.
okay.
Anyways, so squirrel. But you know, you go through this creating synergy and what it's really done for Iron County in having different things going on here. And one thing that I think we should mention too is Iron County is and is not the perfect place sometimes for business owners. We have to create relationships in other communities, right? We need to build relationships where people know, like, and trust us outside of Iron County, because sometimes products need to be brought into Iron County to help supplement Iron County's income, right? In a business tax capacity and an income and all of the different things of how money flows, which is a whole nother radio show concept, right? But my business relationships over in Kane County or in Garfield County have influenced businesses here, right? I can refer business to each other, you know, or I know this business owner in Washington County and they really need to help this Garfield County business because they're doing similar like things. It's almost the same market, but it's different.
I want
Right.
to query both of you because you're a business owner and Paul is a business owner, and you said something that MJ,
Sorry.
I was kind of a little surprised at when you said that Iron County is good and sometimes bad for business. So, from your standpoint as business owners, where has the county not been its best?
Sometimes I can't offer the products I need to because the base in Iron County isn't strong enough. So like, or in the state of Utah, really, for insurance products. So if I wanted to offer airplane insurance, we just don't have airplanes in high enough capacity to be able to offer a competitive product for insuring airplanes in some capacity.
But that's based on the lack of population, or I guess the lack of
Right.
plane owners?
Right.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily good or bad. It's just not good because I can't do those products, right?
Okay.
We also don't do yacht insurance very well because Lake Powell's so far away.
Shot insurance.
You know.
Shot.
Right, I'm just saying, and yachts and houseboats are considered the same. So like from my business perspective,
Oh, well, houseboats would be a thing for you, wouldn't it?
right, they are, but they're a very select market, and if they don't build the ownership of the houseboat correctly, then insuring it has very limited options.
All right, Paul, what about you? Have there been times in Iron County where there have been things you've had to kind of overcome as you were getting
Well, I was just thinking about that. When we first started our business in 1987, the market was dead here. It was a terrible time to start a business. It was a recession. I
Yeah.
think there was 2 or 3 homes being built. And so we were forced to go to Las Vegas to build a market down there. And I got in with some people down there and certain segments of the market, and they liked our work. And word of mouth it's like anything. Word of
Yeah.
mouth is where it's at.
Right.
We've never really paid for a lot of advertising. I'm sorry, Tim, but we just we've relied on word of mouth. And once we built that relationship down in Las Vegas, the word spread, and we started doing a lot of our work down there. We probably did 60 to 70% of our work in those early years down in that market.
Is it still a good deal of your work down in the Vegas area? Because I've seen on social media that you were down in Vegas doing stuff.
Yeah, my son Brad, he still does probably half his work in Las Vegas.
Wow.
It's a good market, and the beauty of that, and I think it's true in a lot of businesses. It's good to think outside the box, to branch out, to develop other market so that when things slow here, it might be really busy down there. When the market slows down with new construction, remodels are a big thing for our company, or my son's company. You just learn to adapt and to move with the market, and that's something that this market might have. Some of the contractors in this market might have to look at as remodeling, because as interest rates go up and the costs go up, you're gonna have to adapt.
Right, and I guess that's, kind of going back to the original, and I think we have just a couple of minutes left. I can't see the clock very clearly today, but you go back to creating synergy and referral and people doing business with who they know, like, and trust. And what's really interesting too is when you go to insurance specifically, like we're so close to Nevada, like Lincoln County and White Pine and the northern parts of Clark County, but I can't do business in Nevada, but I need referral systems into Nevada, right? But I want people who are asking me for business for me to be able to refer almost the same person, in the quality and the standards that they have to offer an insurance product. And very similar to you. If it's outside your radius, you want to be able to give referrals back to those people and create synergy. It's all about creating synergy and making sure that people are successful out of the principle of wanting the human race to survive in success. Not to tear people down, not to break apart the community in which we stand for. One nation under, and you could go into the whole Pledge of Allegiance.
You can say God. It's okay.
I
We
can?
don't have a problem with that.
Oh,
here.
perfect. One nation under God. Really, because it's the synergy that we create. It's the relationships that we build and not tear down in making sure that this community survives. I know enough about southern Utah that if somebody from Iron County needs something transported to Kane County or to Salt Lake County, I know 2 or 3 people that I can call and say, hey, do you know of anybody? Do you know of anybody? How do we get this from
it goes
A
back
to
to
B?
the Mad Freight folks.
Well, and then we could go into the whole Mad Freight experience from last week, right? But with what Paul has done to Iron County, with Cousin Cabinetry, and other positions that he's served in the community, is he's brought synergistic relationships into this.
I would have to think, Paul, part of the things that synergy that MJ is mentioning here. I'm sorry, McKenna and I keep saying.
You're fine.
Led you to the volunteer work you done with the Happy Factory, because that was kind of like way in your alley right there, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, I don't know, how much time do we have?
Well, a couple of minutes here.
I just, I met Charles Cooley. I worked with Frank Cooley at Glades Mill, who was Charles Cooley's older brother, and he was one of the greatest craftsmen I've ever met. And I met Charles in church one day in the hall. My son was, in fact, it was Brad. I think he was crying, and I was out in the hall and met Charles, and he said, we do this Happy Factory thing, and I said, well, how can we help? And we started supplying wood, and we paid for the axle wheels and wheels for the first few years in that, and it was a wonderful thing. And they just, it was a wonderful opportunity to get to know Charles and Donna Cooley, and that was the beginnings of the Happy Factory. We started out in the old Metalcraft building where they let us build it was a shop right inside Metalcraft, and we operated there for a lot of years, and then we were able to raise enough money to build a building where it's at now, and it's been a wonderful journey. I think I've been the president of the board of directors for 16 years. I keep wishing Donna would fire me, but she won't. So
looking ahead from the standpoint of business operators, hang on a second. Hold on, Craig. From the standpoint of business owners, what are you hoping to see from Iron County? Where do we need to? We gotta hurry. Well, population-wise, where do you think we need to get to, and to be really independent on our own?
I think that Iron County really needs to focus on where people go to get what they think they need, and why can't we supply that here? Like, everybody's going to St. George for, I'm going to quote unquote, more luxurious items or whatever. And are we getting populations where we can sustain those types of businesses here, especially with the big announcements and the big developments? We have D.R. Horton bringing in a lot of development, things. Yeah, they're doing a few subdivisions on top of the local builders, right? We have the Port 15 things coming in. So what businesses need Iron County? Because one, we have a fairly decent working population, and what other job opportunities or business opportunities? Because I feel, and maybe Paul has a different opinion on this, I feel like we're Southern California in 1985.
I'd be okay with that, actually, because everyone says Target and Costco. I go, Really?
Well, but what businesses were down in Southern California in '85 that are now
White front.
well, what's there that we need here to create more of the synergistic relationships here?
Paul will give you about 30 seconds to whack away.
Well, and I just want to go back, and I appreciate those thoughts, but I want to go back to, this is a relationship business in everything we, whether it's with our employees, with our suppliers, with our customers, it's a relationship business. And we have to focus on building good relationships, because when times get hard, we rely back on those relationships to make it through. I experienced that through, Brad experienced that through COVID, was with our suppliers. A lot of suppliers, it was hard to get materials, but we were loyal to them, so they were loyal to us. So that's
Thank you so much
Put
for
your plug
joining
in,
us.
Jay.
Thank you so much for joining us for Wild Wednesday with McKinnon Hansen. This is a paid business advertising spot. So if you can reach me, I specialize with all insurance products, specifically commercial and farm and ranch. But my number is 435-592-2021. Thank you for joining us for Wired Wednesday.
All right, see you next week, MJ. Thanks. And one last time, Craig, we got to go.